Bryce. Lovely to see you. Here, I need you guys to hold on to my bag for me. Yeah, just hold on to that. I'm gonna do chores kind of fast because it's 9 degrees out here. Thankfully it's not windy, but it's still 9 degrees out. So I'm gonna try to do this kind of quickly, and then we're gonna go into the shed quarters, see what kind of trouble we can make happen over there. It sounds like King just got home. That'll be helpful. Yeah, crunchy snow equals cold, definitely. Very crunchy snow. morning, Sherry. I hope it's warmer where you are than here. We were pretty chilly this morning. Good? I think we're good to go and give grain to the old folks. Let's do that. It's 9 degrees here today, but at least the sun is out and it will start to warm up a bit. Huh?
Did you see all the prints out here?
Yeah.
Who did that?
Me.
Okay.
Kane is concerned about the prints that are not normally in the snow. That would be because I brought the dogs into the shed this morning.
Gotcha.
So yeah, all my fault. I just gave these guys two quick flakes out here to keep them happy.
Which didn't work.
Which didn't work because Aaliyah's still mad. I'm about to go and give grain to Jeremy and Sage. And I'm not going to stay out here for very long. I'm going to go into the shed and make soap on stream for the first time if it works. And if it doesn't, then it's just going to be a mess. It'll be great. Goats are sunbathing. Okay, I need more hands. Several more hands. Get your face out of my bucket. Good morning, Sage. Good morning, Jeremy. Hi, Anya. Everybody looks good this morning. Ezra, get lost. Leave him alone. Come on, Jeremy. Come in hot. Good boy. Nothing will keep Jeremy from his grain, not even Ezra. Sage, just wait a minute. I'll get you. Put this down. Put you up here. Yeah, thank goodness the sun is out. Definitely. Oof. Yeah. I sometimes pull my fingers into my palm to warm up the tips. It works pretty well. And Sage is right here waiting, so I'm going to get her in. Come on, Sage. Come on. I'm blocking him. Come on. Sage, quickly. Somebody else is going to come and cause trouble. Go in. Thank you. Ezri! Hold on a minute. I gotta go deal with Ezri. You stay here with these guys. Sorry about that. Ezri was trying to pull down one of the wires that I didn't put 7 feet up in the air yesterday. Which is very inconvenient. Alright, yes, you guys get your grain. Here. So yeah, the hand warmers, they're fine for my hands. It's my fingertips that die. And usually, if I just bring them into my palms, they warm up pretty quickly. I'm not against using hand warmers. I would go through so many of them. So then I need to use the reusable ones. But then I need to actually remember to like microwave them and stuff beforehand, which I never remember until my fingers are cold. Hold on 1 second, I gotta blow my nose. Hopefully sound is back. I can't see right now, my glasses are fogged, so I'm gonna put my glove back on. So yeah, the microwave hand warmers would be great if I would actually remember to use them. And otherwise, the other ones, I would literally go through them every day during the winter time. Cleaning is better when I get inside, but that'll at least get rid of most of the fog. Yeah, that's not good, but it's good enough for now. I'm gonna sit down because Jeremy's gonna start getting cranky now that he's eaten some of his food. So how are you guys doing this morning? I've had a busy morning, but it hasn't been bad. It's just been many things to do. And I'm still tired. I want to go back to bed. But I slept fairly well last night. I just need to wake up a bit more. So we're going to try to make soap today. I make no guarantees at all. It could be really bad. It could be great. We'll find out. I got it almost all the way to where I wanted to, but then I had to stop because I ran out of time. So we're going to have to just sit and waste a little bit of time waiting for the oils to melt all the way. I got it so that they would melt faster than they usually do, but it's still they still need to melt a little bit, and then we need to make sure that they get to the right temperature. But I'll give you a lesson in soap making, and I'll teach you how to do it the right way. Unlike some people who I've seen. Had to let one dog out twice. Oh, 18. That's good. Gonna be 38 today. That's awesome. Awesome. I don't know how high we're supposed to get. I think it's supposed to be in the 20s. I really can't remember. All I know is 9 now. 8 when I woke up. And it's definitely chilly. It's not as bad as it could be. But I figured that instead of sitting out here and being cold, we could try soap. And hopefully it will be wonderful, magical. Sophia's going to try to steal the recipe. And, what's up?
We gotta keep an eye on Anya.
Oh, hold on a minute. What's she doing?
She's doing that, and she was, see that leg?
Uh-huh.
She was like kind of pawing at the top of the box with it, and she's just been there staring at me the whole time.
What you doing there?
Or making funny faces. So she might just be waiting for me to walk her out.
Yeah, definitely. If you wouldn't mind throwing a flake right in front of her, that would be good. Kane is noticing that Anya's acting weird. So he was just alerting me that I need to keep an eye on her. What you doing, crazy beast? Are you guys done? Does this mean you're done? Your grandma used to make lye soap for laundry? Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, Kane's an awesome goat dad. Really, really great goat dad. Yeah, lye soap. So what I make is technically lye soap because I use lye to make the soap. Lye soap typically is considered, is typically called that, soap that is typically called lye soap is usually, it's kind of harkens back to the farmstead days. It's usually lye with just one animal-based oil, like lard or tallow. Something, basically, so you'd have a byproduct of what you've raised and processed all year. You'd take the byproduct of that, which a lot of times is either leaf lard or fatback, or tallow, and you'd save that to make the soap out of. And then you would use, because back then they didn't have laboratory laboratory produced lye. The way that you would get lye to make your farmstead lye soap is you would actually take your wood ash from your campfires or your wood stove or whatever, and you put you pour water through your wood ash, and that will pick up on the lye that was used to make those soaps. It actually works. I haven't made it myself yet. When you were little and you stuck your finger and it sucked in your arm to the ring. Ouch! That's not how that's supposed to go, Caporice. So you can take wood ash and pour water through it, and that will get your lye water for making of your soap. But the challenge with wood ash, using wood ash for lye, is that you don't know exactly what the concentration of lye is. So you end up with very inconsistent batches of soap, which is fine if you're just making soap for your family on your farmstead. Not so great for if you're going to sell it and try to have a consistent quality of a product. I do actually want to try it one time just to see what it's like to do that. I'll have to borrow somebody's wood ash because I don't have any of my own. Whoa, sorry, pushing a button while opening the gate. So I do want to try that sometime, just for fun. But I can't sell any of that because that's not quality at all. But it would be interesting. The amount and strength and consistency of the lye is very, very important for making. The strength and quality of the lye is very important for making consistent soap. Sorry, just throwing everything everywhere. And it gets a little bit challenging when you do stuff like making it from scratch. But I do want to try it because I think it would be fun. And I'm a nerd like that. Let's go out and just take a look at Anya for a bit. I just want to... She is acting a little bit weird. She's been acting a little bit weird. I can't tell what's going on with her. I know the other goats bully her a bit. We've seen her limping a little bit here and there. But other times she's been fine. She was part of a stampede yesterday. Hi. Do you just have cold feet? Are your feet just very, very cold? I will try to get her in for a hoof trim, maybe tomorrow. The hoof that she's being weird about doesn't look wrong. She says, don't touch that foot, Mom. Granted, she doesn't like me to touch any of her feet, so it's not necessarily that foot. She's eating well, which is good. We'll check on her later on today. See what happens when things warm up a bit. I'll try to get her in for a hoof trim if I can get her in there. I think she's just chilly. She's not like shivering. I'm not sure how warm it'll get. I think it's supposed to get in the 20s, but with the sun out, they'll feel warmer than that. There is a little bit of a breeze, but it's very, very, very minimal, so they should get warmed up enough. My sweet Sage. I know I didn't give you any loves this morning. I got distracted and you didn't get any attention yet. Oh, and we're gonna pee on camera. Let's not do that. Alright. I think we're okay to leave Anya for now. I'll check on her. Jeremy's just sunbathing. It's like, I have my grain. I'm just gonna sunbathe. Rocket just tossed a whole bunch of hay around. That's great. And then we've got this little pig pile. Goats being goats. And Anya's got her whole tub to herself. She's happy. Hi, Sage. And Esri's in the milking room cleaning up the grain that the others spilled. Alright, let's go ahead and head into the shed. I haven't seen Sophia yet, so I'm a little bit bummed, but I used to put baby socks on the dog's feet when it would be below 0. Yeah, that could work. Oh shoot, I need to do water. That's not enough water. Okay, well then, I guess I'll put you on the outside camera. That's not nearly enough water. I need more. So Anya just walked over here. Where is she? I can't even see. I can't see. There's too much sun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she's doing being weird. But since everybody's up here, I'll go and put you on the shelf up here. And you can watch goats while I just get the water filled up. The socks on their feet, I don't know how that works with hooves. I definitely don't normally do it with dogs. Because when it's this cold, I just don't let them out for long. I let them out long enough to pee and poop, and then I make them come back inside. Move you over a little bit. See how that is. Yeah, they hate them. They act like their feet don't work right. Yeah, my neighbor does that too, Caprice. She's got just a little dog. And she does the same thing when it's really cold. She just puts the puppy pads kind of. There. See, that's better. Let's see. But yeah, our dogs are too big for that, and we don't want to encourage that. Not in them. They would just annoy me by peeing in the house all the time after that. I'm just waiting to check and make sure that you can see everybody. But there's quite a delay between when I do something and when it shows me on my camera. There we go. Okay. I'll move you over a smidge more and then I'm gonna go. Alright, there. Yeah, I don't even know if my dogs would use the pee pads at this point. I agree with you, Sherry. I know previous dogs wouldn't. I don't think these ones would either. Alright, I'll be back. I'm just gonna go grab the hose and fill up the buckets. Yeah, lots of room on the shelf today, huh? Maybe people just don't want to watch soap making. We'll find out. Maybe people are just sleeping in. But we're all good to go, so let's see what trouble we can make happen. Everybody's looking okay. Anya's off by herself, but that's not completely abnormal for her. And she's still eating like crazy. The thing about goats and pain is that goats can actually literally die from pain. They get so stressed out by pain that their I believe it's their heart just wigs out and crashes. But the biggest thing about pain that's not enough to kill them is that when they're in a good amount of pain, they just stop eating. And that's dangerous because their system starts to shut down. Hi, sweetheart. You look pretty bright and happy. Her tail is up a lot, which makes me think that she might be just in heat. I think so. Good girl. Yeah. So for goats that are in pain, obviously I don't want them to be in pain. But one of the ways that I figure out if they're in pain or not is to judge whether they're eating. And, if it's not something obvious like, blatant limping or, there's tooth grinding and head pressing. Like, they do a whole bunch of stuff to show signs of pain. So if there's none of that and they're eating well, unless I have a reason to think they're in pain, I don't. Welcome to the shed quarters. Thank you, Caporice. So no, we're not going to breed Anya this year. She's one of the ones that had really bad meningeal worm. So I decided to hold out. You can see the view out my window. I decided to hold off on breeding her until next year because of the meningeal worm. I just got to take off my coat and my boots. Yeah, Caporice, thank you for putting a post in there. It just might be that it's not a good weekend for people. It might just be that, I don't know. It just might be one of those days. And as I said to Kay, I guess it's better to do a craptastic soap making video for 2 people than for a whole bunch. So if it turns out to be craptastic, at least you guys are the only witnesses. And then we can just delete it. Okay. I think I'm good. Alright, so yeah. Welcome to the shed. Oh, I forgot the bag. Because Kane closed the van. Alright, here. Nope, you don't even see any goats here. I just gotta run out to the van and grab the bag. So just watch no goats for a minute. Good party Friday night, still sleeping it off. That's very possible. Thank you, Sherry. You guys are wonderful. Alright, I just gotta go and get my bag because that's got like the extra things that I need to be able to make this happen. But they're in the back of the van. And I forgot them because Kane closed the back of the van. I'll be right back. Yeah, Sharon, me too. I was asleep early last night. After stream, I was pretty tired, and I basically just fed the dogs. I drove over to the neighbor's house to feed their cats, and then I pretty much just went to sleep. So yeah, I missed her stream too, because Maureen says that they don't start streaming until the kids go to bed, and apparently I have the same bedtime as their kids or something. Yeah, I prefer to go to bed between 8 and 9 so that I'm asleep by 9. That doesn't always happen, but that's my preference. I function best like that. Alright, so let me introduce you to the shed before we do the other fun things. This is the shed. This is the winter shed, by the way. Don't judge me. We have to do a lot of storage during the winter, and so things get kind of crazy. We also just had company over, so we brought in a couple of extra chairs that we don't normally have in here. But I've got lots of work surfaces because I need them. This is actually like a little retail display, so when I have actual hours that the shed is open, I put up a whole bunch of soaps in there and people come and sniff them and buy them and stuff. But obviously we don't have much set up right now because everybody's just placing orders online right now. But yeah, so we have that. Got a whole bunch of storage everywhere. It's better than the garage. It's still a little messy. I'm just, and yeah, like, so these two things here are like 1970s possibly end tables that I'm going to, you can see I've started to sand them down. I'm going to sand them down and paint them and stack them like this to make them into like a little shelving unit. They've each got a door and shelves on them, and they're kind of cool, but they're very old. So yeah. But yeah, this is my little shed. It's not anything exciting. This is an old kitchen cabinet that somebody sold me. It's like a kitchen island kind of thing with countertop on it. But it works well. This is my little worky stool. More storage stuff. This is where I cure my soaps. There's 2 towers of it if I ever get really busy again, which back before COVID I needed 2 towers. Now I only need 1. Seriously. Please pay no attention to the floor back here. It looks horrifically dirty, but most of it is actually damaged from the lye. This is a foam floor, so it damages pretty easily. And I can replace it out, I just haven't yet. But yeah, so I'm going to turn this on. Ooh, check that out. Let's check the temperature on this. All the oils are melted now, which is awesome. 49 degrees, 50 degrees, seriously? All right, I gotta warm that up. I can't make soap at 50 degrees. We'll warm it up. So yeah, I just have a little 2-burner hot top for melting oils, because I'm not actually like doing anything exciting. I just have to warm them up enough to melt them. I do include beeswax in my recipe, and because of that, the melting point of beeswax is 165 degrees, so I always have to heat it all the way up to 165 degrees to get the beeswax to melt, and then I have to cool it down to between 130 and 140 degrees, which often takes like an hour of just sitting and waiting for the oils to cool. So instead of doing that while you guys were here, I actually pre-melted these this morning. I was up at 5:30 this morning out here, and I pre-melted the beeswax, and then I added the other stuff. And when I left here, this was still warm, but I turned it off. And there was still, all of the lard was still solid in there, but it all melted while I was out there, which is perfect. So now it's at 50 degrees, so we just need to warm it up to 130-ish, 125, 130, and then we'll be good to go. We'll make soap. This is my, so I worked with Agribility, which actually, I can do a plug for Agribility right here. They gave me this awesome poster, which is Stretches for Farmers. I love it. And it's a reminder to stop and stretch whenever I can. But I worked with them a lot to try to figure out how to make things as ergonomically friendly as I could. By the way, this is my view out the back when I'm making soap, and I love it. Just woods. The cabin is over there. You can just barely see it. It's over there-ish. There-ish. So yeah, we literally designed this to make it as ergonomically friendly for me as possible. So here it doesn't matter as much what the height is because I'm just putting the oils on there and letting them sit. But here, this is where I do all of my pouring and my measuring and, you know, dealing with the heavy stuff. So having that down lower is actually really helpful for me. So this is an old coffee table that has little cubby holes in it for storage. And then this is a little bit higher because this is where I do my mixing and stuff. And then I move the soap batter down here to pour it into molds on here. So it's all ergonomic for my body and my tasks, and it makes it so that it's got a really nice flow to it, but it's not perfect. And yeah, I go through a lot of contact paper. I actually need to trade this out again. This is worn down, and over here where the lie happens a lot, that's just gone. I need to get new contact paper. And then this wall, we actually used a special drywall in there for it's like waterproof drywall or waterproof-ish drywall. It was purple. It's got like a coating on the outside of it. And then I also use contact paper on the wall to protect it because the lye really does a number on things. It really is corrosive. So this protects it, and I periodically just peel off all the contact paper and put down all new stuff because it just gets trashed. And then I've got storage of like essential oils and fragrance oils and additives and stuff. And then that's the coconut oil, that's the lard. I've got the beeswax over here. All kinds of stuff. This is just all my stuff. And I used to have a monitor here that I could watch DVDs on, but I now have that over in the house for Renoa streams, so that's fun. Yeah, exactly. It's the board used in bathrooms and stuff, exactly. And these are all a whole bunch of different colorants, and then some fragrance oils here, and then a bunch more fragrance oils there. Other additives and things, that's my lye. There's some molds that I have to still go through and organize. But yeah, and this is like packing and shipping supplies. More packing and shipping supplies and labeling and stuff. So it's a little building. It's 12 by 20, but it has everything that I need in it, including the really dirty AC right there. But you know, hey, it's all good, right? So we just need to keep a half an eye on this. I'm so psyched that these are already melted. I thought it was going to take a little while to get that lard all melted. We are up to 53. Are we sure about that? It seems so low. Oh, because we're on Celsius. When did I hit that button? Yeah. Yeah. Alright, we're at 65. I never trust the first beep because it's often wrong. But we're at 65 right now. We should get up there pretty soon. It's soap making time, Gadget. So yeah, this is the soap making shed. Even in communist degrees. Yeah. So yeah, we'll make soap and see how this goes. I need to make I make a soap that has lemongrass essential oil in it, and that's the one that we need to make today because that's the one that I have orders outstanding for that I need to fill. It's also one that sells a lot, so it just always needs to be done. Hello, Daryl. Nice to see you. Gadget, I'm glad that you were able to stop by. I did chores really, really quickly in the very, very cold, and then I said, screw this. So we're going to make soap today and see how this works out. It might be really bad. This is my view out my soap making window. This is what I see. And when the goats are out here, I actually can stand here at the window and watch the goats play. And time to clean up with soap. Gadget doesn't clean up. Come on now. Daryl, hopefully you get to have at least a little bit of time off today. Alright, I'm going to leave you here for 1 second. Here, watch the oils. make sure they heat up. Okay? Boom. Just make sure they heat up. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go over here. Just for a minute. Gadget, I believe that you use a sandblaster. I totally believe that. I can't find my things. There are things that I know that I own, but can I find them right now? No. A good waxing gadget? Pressure washer, maybe? Gadget, I did send Jude a message. I haven't heard from them yet today. They're probably asleep still. Great, Cap Rice, thank you. It is later over there, but Jude doesn't sleep early. In fact, Jude and I are oftentimes on the same sleep schedule. So they stay up really, really late and then they sleep through half the day. And there's a lot of times that they actually stay up later than I do, which I think is insane. Like, I'll be up till like 11 or midnight and they'll still be up. So yeah, they have a weird sleep schedule. Hello, Sophia. Since there's some, I'm going to put my other phone into its case so that I can set it up and maybe try to get some music going. Since there's new people, I'm going to probably do another quick tour so that people can see things. Yeah, Jude often lives their life in Eastern time, exactly. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I really don't know. Let's try to get this. This isn't the house, this is the shed quarters. So the little red building that's like across the dirt road from the goats is my shed quarters. I'll show ya. We gotta check the temperature of the soap though, the oils, before we do anything. We gotta keep a close eye on this so that it doesn't get really, really hot, and then we have to just sit around waiting for it to get unhot. And we're up to 160. Great. That's too high. All right. I'm going to put it right there and let it just think about its life choices and maybe make better decisions about what temperature it wants to be. Yeah. All right. We'll have to wait for a little bit. I'm going to try. You are also unhot. No, it's too hot. I want it to be less hot. I need it unhotified. Finally, the soap recipe exactly, Sophia. It's ready. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to get a little bit of music happening. If I can figure out how to do it. Because I got to use the... Does anybody know where the royalty-free music lives? I should have figured this out beforehand, but I literally just barely managed to figure out my life. So, just getting everything ready for this was enough. I didn't have time to check out the music. Let's see here. If I go here... Shut your eyes so you don't see. You missed the first step involving pants. I did actually take off pants at one point this morning for this. So, all right, let's see. If I just Google royalty-free music. What kind of music do we want? Warning, hot oil pants are encouraged. Yes. Absolutely. I should go on to YouTube Gadget. I can do that. Sherry, you charge royalties? Oh no. We'll have to work out a contract. Alright, we can do instrumental, relaxed music, gaming music. I have no idea which one to pick. Dance, yes. Sing, no. I used to be able to sing. Can't do it anymore. You can do tavern or in music. Chill background music. Cute, happy, fun music. There's a bunch of just best copyright-free music. No tavern. Yeah, I don't think tavern quite goes with this. This vibe. Exciting background music. Hip-hop, we're not doing hip-hop. That's one of the genres that I really just don't like. There is no goat shed soap music. I looked. Haven't seen any of it. Binaural beats. I can put everybody to sleep. Cyberpunk. Well, let's try this. It's 3 hours, no copyright music for live streaming. I'm not a hip-hop person. I just don't like it. It's not my kind of music. Let's see what this is. If we don't like it, we can just change it. Wheels on the bus. Alright, let's make that. Can we do this? We can. Maybe. No, we can't. Well, wait a minute. Let me see if I can do... No, we can't. Hold on. Shit. Alright. We'll just have music for right now while I'm getting things situated. Can you hear this? What genre of music do I like? I like many. This might not be my thing either. I don't like hip hop or dance or R&B. Yeah, this isn't gonna, I'm not gonna handle that. I typically, yeah, it's a bit too bouncy for me. Remember, I'm not a happy person. I can't do happy and bouncy. You kidding me right now? This might be too boring. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, I actually like pop. I like alternative. I like rock. I like country. I'll keep this on for right now. I might change it again. We gotta find stuff that we like. It's better than nothing, right? It's not too much, but it's also not dull-ass boring yet. You love all music? Yeah, I wish that I liked all music. There's just some that I just don't really get into. By the way, I have terrible taste in music and movies and TV. Terrible taste. And I know this. I know this very well. Basically, if anything has won an award, most likely I don't like it. Because apparently all the good stuff is just not my stuff. We're down to 152. Alright. So yeah, this is the shed quarters. Welcome to the shed quarters. Oh, I can... I have this up. It's a gate to keep the dogs from coming back here, because I bring them sometimes and they sit here while I work. But I don't need that there while there's no dogs here. And that means I don't have to keep on walking over it. Alright. Look at that. We now have a path. So yeah, this is the shed quarters. And as I showed before, this is the winter shed quarters, which means it's being used for storage of some things that aren't usually here. But yeah, we have work surfaces. This is actually my little retail display where when the shed is open for customers, I set up a whole bunch of soaps for sale and they can come and sniff the soaps and see what they like and buy whatever they want. More work surfaces. I know, so fancy, isn't it? And we did just have company come and visit that couldn't be in the house because they're allergic to dogs. So there's extra chairs here just because we needed to have seating for people. That's a fun little floor recliner thingy. It's kind of nice. But yeah, it's a cute little space. I like my little retail space. People can sniff me in a shed and buy whatever they want. Yeah, just a little bit different. Just a little bit different. Yeah, so, and then it's just like 12 by 20, and it's literally was made to be a shed. I got the special door on it. I got the insulated windows on it. Cute little gambrel roof. We've insulated the whole thing. I have foam flooring so that my feet don't get mad at me and my knees don't get mad at me. Then I've got like storage for things like labeling and shipping. This is more shipping storage stuff. This is summer stuff. I was telling the people who were here earlier, these are like old, probably 1970s-ish coffee tables that are massive and huge and made out of actual wood. So I started to strip down the stain. I have to continue the job. But I'm gonna strip them all down and repaint them and use them as a shelving unit because they've got these nice little shelves in them and little doors. And if I stack them, then it actually gives me a good amount of space to store stuff and kind of have it out of the way. It's electric wired, so I do have lights that are wired, and I use a infrared heater, infrared heater for and it heats the whole place pretty well. We're at 66 degrees right now while it's 9 degrees outside. So on normal days I keep it at 67 to 68 in here. So then yeah, this is my like little retail spot. When you can see I have my mouse pad. I have my mouse with my mouse pad. I set up my tablet here as my cash register. So this is where people come when they're buying stuff. These are my soap curing shelves, my racks. They're baker's racks that work really, really well. For the purpose at least. Relieve your mouse! I got up almost to 300 relieve your mouses yesterday, by the way, and I still have many more hours to go through. The infrared heater, oh my gosh, the infrared heaters, if nobody else has tried these before, they're different. Instead of having like a normal heating element in it and they heat the air, these things actually like heat the objects in your space, which makes it so that it holds onto the air better, the heat better. And it makes it, you know how sometimes like some heaters have like, they warm places, but it's kind of like a shallow warmth, and then other heaters, like it warms you deeper and like warms you down to the bone. These infrared heaters are amazing, and they really make it feel warm and cozy rather than just keeping the temperature from being too cold. It's kind of nice. Maybe? I don't know of that term. I just know that the listings say infrared heater. Yeah, they still stay cooler to the touch. They're safer. When we got this place wired, we wired it with a pretty significant electrical panel right there, and we used the heavy-duty electrical wiring so that it could handle stuff like heating elements, because I knew that, like, I have a pellet stove in the garage that we want to install in here, but I can't get anybody to actually do it. Everybody's booked up for like, a couple of years, and nobody wants to come here and do a half a day project when they could be working on the bigger projects that bring in a ton of money. So I can't get anybody to install it. It's in the garage. Maybe it'll be out here one day. Maybe it won't. It might never. But yeah, so these are my curing racks where all of the soap lives until it's ready to get sold. Yeah, unfortunately, there is a sheep, an alpaca, a cow, and a horse on the wall, and no goats. These were provided free by the Maine Agricultural Conservation and Forestry Department. And they apparently have terrible taste because none of these have goats. Yeah. If I had designed them, there would be a goat. And they also gave us like the tick ID things, talking about mosquitoes things, talking about rabies, tick bites, rabies, more rabies. It's just, information, education for the public. And then this is my soap making area. I have all my equipment here. Lard and coconut oil, essential oils, some of the colorants. No, we don't want an ad on the music. And then this is the fake colorants and fragrance oils all through here. More colorants there, extra stuff there. This is some of the stuff for like my custom batches that I make, that I hold on to ingredients for people, and then when they want me to make soap, I just take their ingredients and make it. And stuff. Yeah, it's a sign about rabies. They did not give me rabies, although they can't give me rabies because I'm vaccinated, so they wouldn't be successful anyway. They could try to give me rabies. They would fail miserably. And then this is my ergonomic work situation. Up here, it doesn't matter what height that's at, but then I need it down lower for when I'm pouring and scooping and stuff, and then up higher for when I am mixing things. So this is the University of Maine and Maine Agribility worked with me to come up with how to make this as ergonomically friendly for my body and my tasks as possible. part of the challenge with being me and being so short is that normal counter height is actually too high for me. I end up having to like pick things up almost to, you know, mid chest and even sometimes shoulder height to work on a normal counter. My arms have to be held higher just to accommodate for the fact that counters are made for people taller than me. So we did everything to just totally make it, I mean, it's all shorter than normal people. That's a desk, that's a coffee table, and this is like a little printer cart thing. So none of the surfaces that I do most of my work on are actually normal counter height because I can't have them that high. Oh, check the temperature on the oil. We need it to get down to 140. Once it hits 140, we can start making soap. I demonstrate my soap making stretches. We're getting close. 147. We're almost there. Our pellet stove's super hot. Yeah, I don't know much about pellet stoves. I just know that I was given one, so I took it. But hopefully it would be not too bad, and I would be able to monitor things and maintain them a little bit more carefully since it's such a small space. But it's also a space that loses heat pretty quickly. I mean, we've done what we can to keep the heat in here, but it's still, it's nothing like the house where the house holds in so much, so nicely. But we bought this as a shed. It's literally made for, like, you know, housing snow blowers and lawnmowers and stuff. So the exterior walls are pretty thin, which is not great. But I mean, we insulated the walls. I personally put insulation into the walls. And then we used regular drywall for the inside. And there is spray foam insulation under the roof. I mean, under the floor. Under the roof while I look at the floor. Under the floor, it just, it's not perfect. And the shed is up off the ground by 4 inches because it's on 4x4 skids. So it's not, it doesn't hold heat great, but it holds heat better than it would otherwise. But it is insulated. And as I told them earlier, this wall of drywall is all, it was the purple drywall, so it's like water resistant or something. So yeah, it's pretty decent. I mean, we've got the windows are double paned insulated windows. The door is insulated door. We did what we could to make it cozy in here. It's not perfect, but it will do just fine for now. I need to be on 4-inch lifts. Yes, I do. Can somebody please get me some 4-inch skids? I would definitely appreciate 4-inch skids. I love my little shed. I do like my little, I like this little shed. I like being out here. I can watch the goats this way, or if they're behind the shed, I can watch them out that window. And that's how I spend my time here, for the most part. I play with the goats, and then I come in here and make lots and lots of soap. It does get really hot in the summer, but I do have a very dirty little AC that goes into this window and makes it very tolerable. If I don't have the AC on, it's gross in here. Absolutely gross. But with the AC on, it's not so bad. But it's a cute little shed. Soap does not melt, thankfully. It sometimes, in extreme heat, it would get a little bit soft, maybe. But it actually doesn't, it doesn't melt if you make it right. We're down to 145. We're getting close. But the thing that you have to be careful of, especially with our world, so because, I mean, it's not, Maine is not known for its humidity, but because, I mean, we're only, I think we're something like 6 or 7 miles from the ocean, or or at least from a major river that opens up into the ocean, so it might as well be the ocean. We're very close to water, so it gets humid here. The biggest challenge with soap is that it gets humid in here enough that the soap, what it looks like is it looks like the soap is actually sweating, and yeah, it looks like it's sweating, but it's actually not sweating. It's that the glycerin in the soap is actually attracting the moisture, the humidity from the air, and bringing the moisture to the surface of the bar. So it's actually the air that's sweating onto the soap, but it looks like the soap is sweating. You will not make a joke about also getting soft in the heat. Yes. Yep, BrowncoatGoat Farm sweaty soap. Yep, that's what we sell here. So I do have a little dehumidifier that we use sometimes out here. The AC helps a lot with dehumidifying. And then we have at least less soap sweat, even though it's not actually soap sweat. But yeah, that's the biggest challenge with being out here. You want the bars of soap to dry out. You don't want them to be bringing in more moisture. You have some soap no sweating this bar. Hopefully it won't sweat in your house this time of year. But yeah, if you leave it, like if I make the ridiculous mistake of leaving one of these windows open in the summer overnight, when of course there's tons of dew and everything, I come in and every single bar of soap in here is wet. Every single bar will be wet. And it drives me insane when I do that. I don't do it often, but it makes me so mad. And then I either have to put on the AC or the dehumidifier or both. And sometimes I literally go through the thousands of bars of soap that are sometimes on these curing racks and dry everyone off with a paper towel. I don't like that. That annoys me. But if I have to go sell it, then I have to dry it off. You also highly recommend the soap? Thank you, Sherry. That's very nice of you. I will be immodest for a moment. And no, not immodest. I will be not humble for a moment and say that I really do like my soap. I actually had never used goat milk soap until I needed an excuse to have goats. And then I started using goat milk soap and I was like, hey, I really like this stuff. So then when I started making my own soap, I had to... What happens if I don't dry it? If I don't dry it, it feels slimy until it dries off. And it will dry over time if it gets dry enough in the air. Oh, thank you, Sophia. I love that you like that. I'm allowed to be immodest. But yeah, I very intentionally, when you're creating a product like soap and you want to... Some people go the easy route and they just find a recipe that they like and they just use it. I went through probably 30 or 40 evolutions of my soap recipe until I found exactly what I wanted. Every oil that you put into soap has a different characteristic, a different quality to it, and it brings a different quality to the soap. So I mean, what I use is a blend of oils that I find that in these proportions and these particular oils give my soap what I want my soap to be. I want it to be a long-lasting bar. I want it to be very moisturizing. I want it to be something that is enjoyable to use. I want it to have a nice lather, because a nice lather always makes people happy. You know, and I want it to be a good quality product. I don't, you know, personally, if I'm going to spend $7 on a bar of soap, it better be good stuff. Otherwise, I'm not going to spend any more money on that soap. So some people don't make that decision, and their soap is expensive but still crap. But I've really worked hard, and I'm very proud of the quality of my soap. Proprietary blend of hand-selected oils. Exactly, Gadget. Sophia has been trying for almost a year now to steal my recipe and has failed miserably every time. We're at 142. We're very close. Yeah, Caprice, I'd love to send you some soap. My soap healed your ankle, Sherry. That's awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. It's really amazing soap. High quality soap. It even heals bones, apparently. The other thing that's really challenging for me with other soap makers is that I am a rule follower. Like I bend rules here and there. I break a few here and there, but for the most part, I really don't want to be breaking rules and have to constantly worry if I'm going to get caught. And there are some really strict rules on when you're selling soap, what claims you can make about it. Like, you're allowed to say that it, cleans, it moisturizes. Actually, I think even moisturizing is a cosmetic. I think that the only thing you can say about soap is that it cleans. It is soap and it cleans. And that's it. And then as soon as you start saying things like it moisturizes or it exfoliates or, any of that kind of stuff, I actually have to, you have to start labeling your soap as a cosmetic, not a soap, which has more label requirements. And because I'm worried about that, I actually label my soap as a cosmetic, just so that I know that I'm covering my bases in case I say something stupid like, yeah, it's moisturizing, and somebody catches me. But, I mean, there are people out there selling soap that will say stuff like, it's great for psoriasis. Well, if it's great for psoriasis, then you're marketing it as a medical product, and that has a whole different level of, you have to get appropriate labeling. And yeah, you laugh, Gadget, but there is somebody out there that sells black tar soap that they say it cures skin cancer. And if the FDA finds them, they will get shut down and fined and possibly even go to jail for something that bad. But yeah, like, you have to be careful. You can't make medical claims when you're selling soap because it's soap, not medicine. And if you're going to do medicine, then you have to do trials and you have to get approval and you need to label properly and, like, just all the things. And people do it all the time, especially, like, I'll go to a craft fair and there'll be somebody selling craptastic soap for, $3 a bar. And they'll be telling everybody, like, oh, this cured my eczema and this over here, if you got birthmarks, it'll take those birthmarks right out. Like, it's just ridiculousness. But because they haven't gotten caught yet, they don't stop. And yeah, if you lie, you sell a lot more soap. You absolutely sell more soap if you lie. So it's challenging for me because I am trying to follow the rules, and I'm, people will literally move around a craft fair or something and they'll go back and buy the $3 soap because it cures cancer instead of my $7 soap, which is really, really way better, and I don't make stupid ass claims. So it's one of those things, It's just tricky. It's just tricky. It's frustrating. There are actually rules, and their rules are there for a reason. Can we say this one cures your love life? Most definitely. Of course. Of course. This is soap to make all your social issues get better. All right, we're at 1:38. We're good to go. Okay, I'm going to try. I need to swap things around for a minute with my other phone. I need to pause you. I need to open up Twitch so that I can see what's going on again. All right, give me a second. I'm going to set you up here because what happens next requires hands and space to work. I think that's pretty decent. Move it down a smidge. I'm trying to show you the work surfaces without showing you the trash can, because who wants to sit there watching a trash can? Alright, that's not too bad. I think that works. Okay. I'll turn the music back on. But yeah, let's get to work. And I'll just talk at you. I can't see chat. No, maybe I don't know. How important is music? I can potentially run over to the house and grab my other phone and get music. Oops, not that. Yes. Music is less important? Because I need to watch chat, and this is the only way that I can do it, is by looking at this phone. I can run over to the house and grab my other phone, and I can get music going. You prefer the interaction? Do you want me to run and grab my other phone? Or just have the silence? Okay, no need for music. Alright. Next time I will remember to bring the other phone over. My other phone is not actually a phone. Or no, it doesn't work as a phone, but it is hooked up to the house Wi-Fi. So I can use that out here for music. Alright then. Let's take off some clothes because I know how this goes. And we'll start making some soap. And I'll just keep you sitting here so I can watch what's going on with you. Hopefully not drop you in the soap. I'm going to try very hard not to drop chat in the soap. Make no guarantees. Alright. I need to take off my hat. It's going to make my hair look horrible, but it is what it is. But I know that if I don't take off my hat, I'm going to get too hot. And I have to take off my hoodie because hoodies make me too hot doing this. This is no messing around stuff. So, when you are using lye, this is Safety Lessons by Browncoat. Leave the pants. Yes, the pants are going to stay. Just the hoodie and the hat are coming off. We'll keep pants. I do keep, I wear slippers in here. Because I can't wear my boots everywhere. Yeah, see, 18 plus stream, I'm telling you. So yeah, quick lessons. When you're dealing with lye is caustic. It will burn your skin. Getting spicy to real. Yes, getting spicy. You have to protect yourself. Don't be an idiot is the big thing that comes down to this. I see people making soap without gloves on, and it drives me absolutely insane because that is the place you're most likely to get lye on yourself. And even with gloves on, I still sometimes have things that happen somehow. I don't even know how it happens sometimes. Yeah, no penises, we're fine. Also, I have a lot of money invested in my arms. I don't want big scars to screw up my tattoos. So, if for no other reason than my tattoos I cover my arms, but seriously, how about we just don't make chemical burns happen to our skin, and it's much better. I know that some people use safety goggles, when soaping. I've found that those don't get along very well with me and my glasses. They give me a headache really bad. But I'll show you what I do use. After I clean it off, because apparently it's messy. Didn't clean it off after the last time, I guess. But you can see, hopefully you can see. I don't know if you can see, but there are splatters on this thing. And that's all from when I was making soap last time. So soap does splatter up, and it has lye in it. And until it has cured, the lye is caustic. So please, please, please don't make soap without eye protection. However, I've actually had, like, I used, you know how there's the goggles that, like, are kind of like swimming goggles where they, like, suction to your face? Those goggles are pretty helpful. But the goggles that are just, you know, slightly bigger than the glasses that I used to use those at first, and I actually had soap batter come up behind those safety goggles and behind my glasses lenses, and still I got a splash in my eye. So I found that this works really well. It's actually a face mask, but it goes around your neck to stop things from splashing up, which is what I have to deal with. When you suction to a face, you get in trouble. Yeah, you should. If you're in the same general vicinity, you should still have eye protection because splashes happen. I hate big scars and I cannot lie. So lye, when you're talking about lye with soap, it's LYE. It's technically sodium hydroxide. Oh, Daryl, you haven't seen my tattoos? That's right. I've been wearing clothes a lot lately because it's cold. So yeah, really quick look. I've got a raven. I have a badass weapon. Got a starship that's gonna get finished the next session that I get. These are hoof prints of my actual goats. Like we took paint and paper and smushed them, and then we just sized them down so they would actually fit on my arm. That's Jeremy right there. And the rest of these are all goats that we no longer have. They've passed, but this is my memorial goat arm. And then this is the memorial to my dog Nara. And we're going to put a memorial to my goat Merlot right underneath her. And then we're going to put a sentence right here. That's a memorial to a friend of mine that died this past year. So those are my arm tattoos. I have others, but those are my arm tattoos. So yeah, I don't want to ruin my tattoos. Yeah, the dental face shields, those work. Your stream stopped. Okay, it's back. It better be back. Alright, so first, eye protection, which makes me look like a weirdo. Actually, I'll pick you up for 1 second. It makes me look like a weirdo, but it protects my face, so we do it. Now back to what you actually want to see instead of my ugly face with the stupid shield on. And then I use very long dish gloves. I do this partially just because why not have 2 layers, but partially because sometimes I do want to soap with just t-shirt on, and this protects my tattoos and my arms. A sentence song? There's a sentence song? Thank you, Sherry. I like my tattoos. They make me happy. We have plans for many, many more. Alright. We have gloves. Alright. Stir the batter one more time. I'm going to keep this down for a minute. We need milk. So in order to make soap, you need oil, a liquid, which is usually water, in this case milk, and lye. If you don't use lye, you don't have soap. Sometimes people will buy pre-made soap and then melt it down and add more things in, but they didn't actually make soap, somebody else made soap. So sometimes they say that they don't use lye in their soap, and it's true, they don't, but somebody else already did. Otherwise it's not soap. It might be some kind of a cleaning product, but it's not soap. Alright, let's get milk. When you're making soap with milk, it gets too hot if you use liquid milk. The lye will actually make it too hot while it's in the process of being made. So you have to start off with frozen milk, which works out really well because that means that I can just freeze all my milk. I can't do anything about that. I can just freeze all my milk and then use it when I need it. I'm gonna make a loud noise. Turn down your volume, block your ears. Hang in there. I gotta break this to get it out of here. It's just stored in a plastic Ziploc bag, but this might be good enough. This is the aggressive part of the stream. Yeah, lye-free soap is literally a lie. Oftentimes people that truly don't use lye, that there isn't lye in the product at all, that they're actually not making soap, they're just making another cleaning product. So that's when you see words like beauty bar and, you know, body wash, you know, things like that. You don't need lye for those because you, they're not soap. They clean, but they're not soap. How much do I need? I need to check. $15.73. Everything with soap making is done by weight, not by volume. So we measure every ingredient by weight. And then I also add just a little splash at the end of water, because that just makes it so that the lye dissolves better. You're also measured by weight, not volume. All bars are beauty bars after enough beers. That is fact right there. I know, I'm sorry that Jude's missing all of this. I wish I could, you know, wake them up, but I can't. Okay, so that's the milk. That's gonna sit there. Now, lye. Tar out the scale, and I do measure in grams. I just like being more precise. So I don't skimp on going with those silly, inaccurate ounces and pounds. All right. I know, Gadget, that's a good idea. We can get like a remote control alarm in Jude's house. Just be like, Jude, stream is on. All right, let's get the lye. And there will be no metric in this house. There's only metric in the shed. In the house, we're right back to imperial ridiculousness, whatever it is. I often buy lye like 50 or 100 pounds at a time, which makes for quite the interesting situation with the Postal Service. Yes, this is the lye. Sodium hydroxide is the lye. I get it from the lye guy. It's actually really good quality, and his prices are one of the best in the country. Yeah, so this is the milk with a splash of water. That's the lye. Yeah, the post dog thinks I'm cooking up something else. Exactly. Yeah, the lye guy. He actually, he makes a good quality product though. It's literally a man, and He does a great job, so I give him a business and have for years. Alright, I need this. Gadget, we're not supposed to talk about that in public. Okay, quick safety lesson, because this drives me insane. Please note, I am using stainless steel and not using glass. The only thing that I am using glass on today is this, and that's for a special reason. But this is also not something that's going to cause microfractures. We don't talk about Bruno's body. Exactly. Mixing lye in a glass container creates microfractures in that glass. And especially if you're then trying to like break up the milk and stabbing the milk and therefore the bottom of the glass container with a sharp thing, and then adding lye, you're making microfractures all over the place. So I know many people, some of them are people that I've spoken to personally, where they learned from one particular very popular soap teacher in this country how to make soap, and she always says to use glass, but they've literally used like the nice Pyrex glass bowls, and at one point they'll pick it up and the whole thing will just shatter. And if it shatters when it's full of lye water or lye milk, then you have a really bad situation on your hands. It is dangerous, and especially if that happens with no gloves on, which there are people who mix their lye with a glass bowl with, instead of a spoon that actually gives you some distance between the caustic chemical and your hand, they'll mix it. I swear to God, I saw somebody mixing lye and milk in a glass bowl with a spoon like this, which puts your hand very close to the caustic substance that you're trying not to burn yourself with. Oh, yeah, you've had a Pyrex shatter. Imagine doing that with something that can literally give you chemical burns all over your body. It's so dangerous and so messy and so hard to clean up without hurting yourself further. Like, it's just, so do not follow anybody's recommendation that says to use glass with lye, ever. A lot of people use plastic. I'm not as big of a fan of plastic because essential oils sometimes react weirdly to plastic, so I just stick with stainless steel. It works well for me. There's no reasons not to use it, so we should. You're gonna wear a bunny suit making anything with glass? Yes, do that. Definitely do that. So yeah, people advocate to do the glass thing, which just makes me so mad. So mad, because they're putting people in jeopardy. And like, I mean, even if you're not saying you should use glass, but you are on stream using glass, or you have YouTube videos that have you using glass to make soap, you are advocating that people do that. Also, you need to use gloves that will actually protect you. These ones are not truly chemical resistant gloves, but since I very rarely get more than just a tiny little splash, they're pretty effective for me. If you want to be really careful, then chemical resistant gloves are necessary, but wearing like latex gloves or nitrile gloves or vinyl gloves like they do in medical situations, that provides absolutely no protection for your skin at all. The lye will just burn through the glove if you get lye on your skin. So I've seen that too. Use actual gloves that actually do some good. No, Gadget, I want you to wear a rabbit costume. A real one. None of this joking about the fact that it's slang. If you say rabbit costume, I expect rabbit costume. Yeah, Daryl, the Pyrex is crazy. So what does lye do in the soap? The lye is the chemical that when it bonds, or when it reacts with the oils in the soap, the lye turns the oils into soap. It's the thing that actually turns the oils into soap, which is why you can't have soap without lye. And what it's doing right now, where we have completely frozen milk, it is slowly, it takes time, but it is slowly reacting to the milk, and that's creating heat that is melting the milk. It'll all be liquid soon. Also, please do not ever add liquid to lye, because that you could potentially actually have like a little explosion and really hurt yourself. But also, please add lye slowly to your liquid. Do not just pour it all in. If you take all of this lye and pour it into water, like liquid water, it will immediately boil, and it will boil over. And it will boil over with lye water, not just regular boiling water, so it's doubly dangerous. With milk, where it's frozen or slushy sometimes, I know people that like to do it slushy. I prefer totally frozen. It takes a little bit longer, but I think it comes out better. If you pour all the lye in here, you can potentially have, all at once, you can potentially have a reaction. And if nothing else, you can potentially scorch the milk and screw up your soap. So why do it? You can potentially get hurt, and you can potentially screw up your soap. So why not just take the time to mix it up properly? Goat milk slushy. Yes, definitely sit on that side of the counter. Much safer over there. So you can see we are starting to have liquid milk. And the important thing is that you need to dissolve the lye in the liquid, in this case the milk, because undissolved lye will not react properly with the oils, and it will not make soap. It will just make little lye pockets that are then dangerous. So this is not something that you can just, this is not something that you should just do and not pay attention to what you're doing, and not learn how to be better, and not constantly be wanting to be better, because you can actually harm people. I mean, I have freaking $1 million insurance policy just on the off chance that somehow I manage to hurt people with my soap. And there's a lot of people that just, they learn how to make soap once and they say that's good enough, and they don't learn anything about what they're actually doing. They just figure if you know how to follow the steps, then that's good enough. And they potentially hurt people. Yeah, it is time consuming. The milk isn't defrosting. It's much faster than that. Let's see if I'll try to get you a good look at. It's definitely much faster than just defrosting. The lye is creating heat, and it is melting the milk. Yeah, it is actually. And by the time I'm done, of course I can't show that to you, but by the time I'm done, the milk will actually be warm. It'll be warm to the touch, and kind of uncomfortably warm to touch the, if I took my bare hand and held it up to the bowl, it's kind of uncomfortably warm. Yeah, I think I got you back now. So yeah, it is definitely faster than just defrosting. And I oftentimes use it to, I use the melted stuff to help melt more, or to help dissolve more of the lye. So yeah, you just keep on adding lye in small amounts, not all at once, and then letting it do its job. And almost all the time, by the time the milk is all melted, the lye is all dissolved, or not long thereafter. So yes, it takes longer to do it this way, but it is way safer. Way safer.
Yeah, it's definitely the lye reacting to the milk. And in fact, it's kind of funny because when you use water, this doesn't happen, but when you use milk, can somebody tag Jude and let them know that we're still here? They just sent me a message. Let them know that we're still going. But yeah, the when you're making it with water, it doesn't happen, but when you're making it with milk, the lye actually will start to saponify the fats in the milk a little bit, so you end up with kind of like a milk soup rather than just liquid milk. It's kind of cool. I did like a demonstration on this. I went into a school nearby that had 7th and 8th grade chemistry students, and I did soap making demonstrations for the chemistry students. That was really fun. Thank you, Gadget. I appreciate that. They might have figured it out, but why not? Why not just make it very obvious that we're still doing stuff? Hi, Jude. Good to see you. So yeah, we're making soap. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so basically from the time that I start touching lye until the soap is in the molds and I'm done dealing with things, I wear the face shield and the gloves. And if you notice, I have long pants on, I have slippers on. I don't do this in shorts. I don't do this barefoot, and I learned I can't even do it in stocking feet. Everybody tag Jude. Good job. There was one time I was making soap and I was just in my stocking feet. I just didn't have my slippers on or shoes on. Yeah, poor Jude got like 30 alerts thrown at them. Apparently I dropped a drip of soap batter on my sock and didn't notice it because it was on the surface of my sock. And then as soon as I was done making soap, I had to go out and do chores, so I threw on my boots and went out to do chores. And at one point I noticed that my foot was, one spot on my foot was kind of tickling, and then it started kind of burning and hurting. But I didn't know what was going on, so I just kept on going along with my thing. And I just kept doing chores, came in from chores, took off my boot, looked at my sock, and it was soap batter on my sock, and it was soap batter on my skin. And the boot had been pushing the soap batter into my skin. So I had a very nice little chemical burn there. It was, you know, only the size of a couple drops, but it was very uncomfortable. And it took a long time for it to heal. Like, it had to heal and then completely slough and then heal again. It was really weird. So that's why I wear slippers or shoes now. Alright, we have what we need. Yeah, you could seriously burn your own toes off if you're not careful. You'll see that it's turning a little bit yellowish. Hopefully you can see that, yeah. The yellow is actually, hold on a minute. I do that just to smooth it all out. Makes for better soap. The yellow is actually the sugars in the soap, or in the milk, are starting to caramelize. So always pour lye water into oils, not the other way, for safety. And I actually pour the lye water kind of onto a spoon to redirect it away from me. So it just makes it so I have less splash back at me. give it a good stir. You can't see that very well, can you? I'm going to try moving you over here. I might have to move you back again, but let's just see what happens if I move you here. And you can't see well there. There we go. That's a little better. So all of the lye milk is now at the bottom and the oils are at top. So if you start stirring, you can see the lye milk work its way up. Everybody get ready with 911. Absolutely. Hello, Paper Cut. Nice to see you. We're making soap and I'm about to be really loud. So block your ears. Now this is considered trace. This is called trace. Sorry, Paper Cut. This is called trace, where everything is blended. It's not going to separate back out again, so it's blended enough that it's not going to separate. This is when you add your extra things, and I'm actually going to move you out of the way now because it's going to get dangerous for my poor phone. We don't want to do that. There. Yeah. That's good. This is lemongrass with some lemon peel powder for color, and then what's called kaolin clay. That's just to make it, it's lemongrass essential oil, so the kaolin clay is actually to help the essential oil scent to not fade quickly. As I said, you can't use plastic with some essential oils because they'll just eat plastic. They literally just chew right through it. And then we need to stir it again. And with lemongrass, it does what's called accelerate. It accelerates the soap batter, which means that it thickens up faster than it should. So because of that, I can't stir it too much, and I can't sit around and take my time. I've got to move, because if I don't, then by the time I get to the bottom of this, then it's too solid. And these are silicone molds that are, they may look like they're not clean, but they really kind of are. One of the byproducts that happens with soap making sometimes is called ash, soda ash. It just forms on the outside of the bars sometimes. And it stays behind in the molds, and it's really, really hard to wash off. And since it doesn't hurt anything for it to be there, I don't wash it off. The guy in the poster is stretching. And the poster being there is a reminder to me that I need to remember to stretch when I can, which is not. So basically, making soap is 100% flexible in how I do it until I start putting lye into the milk. Once the lye is being added to the milk, I can't stop this process without ruining my batch. So if you're ever trying to reach me and I'm like, hold on, I'm making soap, it means that I'm at this stage where I can't stop without screwing up a whole bunch of money. When I make this size batch, I make about 55 bars of soap. So it's a pretty significant loss if I lose a batch. I've also learned over time, if at any time when you're making soap, once the lye is involved, you start feeling itchiness on your skin, doesn't matter whether you think it's from the soap or not, wash it off. So I keep baby wipes right behind me. So if anything starts feeling even a little bit itchy, because it's always itchy first and then it starts burning and then it's bad. So whenever I feel itchy, I immediately just wipe it with a baby wipe just in case, even though it's probably not, because I am pretty well protected. I even have, when I really want to get protected, which is rare, more than this, but I actually have like a lab coat, and I have little, like one of those little lab bonnet things. Sorry, I'm missing a bunch of what you're saying. I'm so sorry. I can't watch it all and do the things and do the talking. Yes, 18 plus stream. I did strip off some clothes earlier. Yeah, and bunny suit talk. So then we even ventured a little bit into the furry category. There's that one. So this is the most time sensitive and the most dangerous part of the soap making process. But it's also the most fun part because it's when the magic happens. So basically we fill up all of these molds and then you let the molds sit for at least 24 hours so that the soap batter can turn into solid soap. You need the lye to have time. Literally, it needs time to react with the molecules in the oils. And then technically, by morning, I no longer have, olive oil and lard and coconut oil in here. I actually have saponified lard and saponified coconut oil. And it is molecularly different by morning than it is when I put it in the pot. And I use the silicone molds. I do a little bit, I do things a little bit differently than a lot of people. A lot of people prefer to make loaves of soap and then cut the loaves. But what I've learned with that, hold on. But the soap loaves, in general, there's two problems that I don't like about soap loaves. Number one is that when you make a loaf of soap, you have to cut it in the right window of time. Because if you cut it too soon, then it's too soft and you actually damage your soap. And if it's too hard, then it gets brittle and it starts breaking apart, and so you also damage your soap. With these silicone molds, ideally I'll take these out tomorrow or the next day, but if it sits here for a week, doesn't matter one bit as far as the quality of the soap. I just have to pop them out, later. So it saves me a lot of headache that if my schedule changes, I can just be flexible with these. The other thing is I don't like the size and shape of the bars that come out of loaf soaps. They're just hard for me to hold in my hand. And if they're hard for me to hold in my hand, I assume that at least there are some other people that feel the same way. These bars are perfect for holding in your hand. So I really like the size and shape of these. And I like the flexibility of using silicone molds rather than the silicone cavity molds rather than the loaf molds. So, it's for a couple different reasons. With stainless molds, it's actually really hard to get the soap out. Oftentimes, if you used a stainless mold, in order to get the soap out often, you would have to actually freeze the whole mold and the soap, and then you could probably get it to pop out. but you would still probably still have some damage to some of the soaps. And I like no damage to my soaps, so I can sell every single last one of them. Because I don't sell damaged soaps. Those ones become either, I sell them either reduced price, or I give them away to friends and family, or we use them in the house. I also like to have every single drop of soap in the soap molds at the end, as close as I can get to that. So technically I could have left that last partial bar in there and just cleaned it up, but if I put it in here, I can either sell it reduced or we can use it in the house. I hate for it to waste. So we filled out 4 full molds, which is 48 for 950, 51, 52, 53 and a half bars right here. And we just made soap. Before I take off my gloves, I just stack everything so it's ready to go into the house. Then I wipe off my gloves. How do I safely wash the equipment? So 2 things. 1, I won't touch that equipment again until tomorrow. So anything that could saponify will be soaked by morning and therefore not as dangerous. Still a little bit, but not as bad. And the stuff that didn't saponify, what I do is I bring this over to the house kitchen and I fill it all up with water, let it soak for a little bit, and then I pour more water in it to try to dilute it, and then I can usually do it. I can usually clean it just fine. So there you go. That's how we make soap, people. It is a cool process. I love making soap because it's such an interesting process. It really is. Put off till tomorrow instead of doing it today. It actually works in this case. It is safer to clean this stuff tomorrow than it is today. So if I can't wash it, then I can't wash it today. I guess I just can't. But yeah, I love the challenge because every time you make soap, you can potentially screw it up. By just being off by one thing. Either the temperature's a little bit off. Yeah, there's nice snow out there. The temperature's a little bit off, or you put in too much of one thing or not enough of another thing. Like, I can potentially ruin every single batch that I make. Thankfully, I average 1 or 2 a year. Every now and then I get lucky, but it's usually like 1 or 2 a year that either I'm doing something different, I'm doing something new, or I get interrupted and I forget where I was and I screw things up. Last year I ruined a whole batch of patchouli lavender soap, which pissed me off. Yeah, I did make it look easy. Sorry. I hate it when I do that. But yeah, it's not, there is a learning curve. I made many bad batches of soap before I managed to do this. So yeah, learning how to do it safely, learning how to do it well
that took time. I always recommend, and people get mad at me, I always recommend when people are starting to make soap and they're like, I'm going to start to make soap and then I'm going to sell it and it's going to be awesome. I always tell people, you need to make soap for a good solid year. You need to make soap and you need to keep one bar out of every batch that you make. And you need to watch how that bar ages. You need to see how it works with different kinds of packaging. You need to see how it works when you use it at different times. You know, I literally cut it up and use it at different times to see how it is. You need to know how your soap holds up over time, and you need to learn how to do it right and do it well. So people almost always laugh at me and tell me they're not going to do that. They're like, no, I need to start making money sooner. And I'm like, that's fine. You can start making money sooner, but you're also going to be putting out a crap product for a while. You know, that's just the nature of the beast. And you're going to lose money because you're going to make mistakes and stuff. So you're just making it harder on yourself than because what I did, I made a ton of batches of soap. I tested them out. I tried them out. I actually kept more than one bar. I kept like a half a dozen bar from every batch so that I could like cut it at, 6 months out and a year out and see how it changes over time. In fact, this is a part of my soap collection of bars that I've saved to see how they work, how they go over time. And I even have, this is what I do. I literally carved the year that I made it into there, so that I know when I cut this one, then I know that it's 2 years out now. So when I cut it, I'll know what it does after 2 years. You need to know how your scents fade. You need to know how your colors fade, especially if you're going to be selling to stores and they're going to have to sit on a shelf for a while. Those people are going to want to know that they're not going to have to throw all these bars of soap away in 6 months. They want to know that it's going to sit there and be fine. You make foam hand soap. That works. You just need the special foamy pump, I guess. And yeah, Castile soap is a whole nother conversation. I do make Castile soap sometimes. But I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of Castile. If anything, I actually prefer to make what's called Bastille, which is literally bastard Castile soap, and it's called Bastille. But it's a different soap, and I make it specifically for certain people when they want it for reasons. And yeah, it is a nice mild soap, so it works out pretty nicely as a soap for kids. But it's also, other soap is better. Bastille soap is French when you storm a castle. Not true at all, but really funny. Yeah, I mean, Castile is gentle, but it's not. It actually is a little bit too cleansing sometimes. So I make it when people ask for it. I make it, but it's not particularly. It's not my thing. It's not my jam. But it's fine. And yeah, if it works well for the kids, go for it. Whatever works with kids' skin that doesn't cause any reaction, just stick with it. It's a good thing. I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. Talking about my ass, probably. But yeah, so the recipe that I use, I do it, I created it very intentionally and very thoughtfully and very well researched. And I like it. But yeah, if I try something new, I still can mess up. Oh, I think I saw somebody asked, what do I do with the botched batches? Well, it depends. The ones that are horribly botched, so the patchouli lavender, I couldn't even give that away for friends. However, we did use it in the house. And I basically had to tell Kane, I was like, if you start to feel itchy or tingly, then you might be getting chemical burns, so we'll stop using it. But until then, let's use it. Because I really botched it. It was horribly botched, but it still worked, and apparently
we can withstand the botch. So we've almost used up that whole batch now. Poor Kane. That poor man. My gosh, he is so patient with me. Most of the time, if it's botched, if it's just a little bit ugly, I'll sell it to one of my friends who felts it, and that hides the ugliness, but it allows the soap to still come out and be the same great soap that it is. It just, the felting hides it. And I'll show you felted soap in a minute. Yeah, stop use if skin burns off. Exactly. That's basically what I said to Kane. I was like, this might be unsafe to use, but it might be fine. So, we'll stop using it if it hurts. Soap shouldn't hurt people. But yeah, if it's totally botched as far as either appearance or something that still allows it to be safe, then I sell it by the pound at discount prices, usually to friends and family, but sometimes to actual customers. And that's just like, I didn't botch this whole batch, but at the end it was getting pretty squirrely. So like, this is one of the bars of soap that, it's just, can you see that? There we go. It's just ugly, but it's still perfectly good soap. It just looks ugly. So I will sell that by the pound. I could send unsafe soap to scammers. I don't want to do anything illegal. I'm fine with doing legal things that are very misbehaving, but I don't want to do anything illegal. So yeah, so like most of this batch, it's like maybe a little bit off. It's not perfect, but it's still, that's totally sellable. But yeah, the other stuff. So yeah, I just, I sell it to, my normal quality. This is an uncleaned bar. So when I take the soaps off the shelf, the curing shelf, then I clean them up and make them really pretty. But this is the bar of soap. This is the quality that I want. I want this, and I scrape off this ash that's on the top, and I just make everything look pretty. But this is sellable soap. So yeah, that pink one, that's not something that I will sell very much. She called me hamster and sent me ugly soap. I can send them ugly soap. That would be funny. So yeah, I do sell those to people at reduced prices by the pound instead. And oftentimes I'll sell like the whole batch to one person. Like I'll put up a batch for, $100 for 50 bars of soap, and people will grab it very, very quickly. Yeah, so that's what I do. And then I also do, oh, my animated Jeremy got approved. That's so exciting. I didn't know he got approved. Dragon went through, and Quabity went through, and I think Merlot went through, but I didn't see the alert that tells me that Jeremy went through. Oh, I'm glad you have him now. I still have to do the plunger one. I got halfway done with that, and then I had to stop for other reasons, but I will get that. Jeremy and the plunger is going to happen. Buy 49 bars, get the 50th one for $1. Yeah, that sounds about right. He looks like he's ready to explode. Exactly. I figured that, if that had a sound effect, it would be him growling. And that would be kind of funny. Yeah, Jude made some plunger emotes, and I definitely need to get the Jeremy plunger emote up here, because it's animated as well, and it's perfect. I just have to get it to actually do the things. I have to do the steps and get it approved. So yeah, so that's what I do. I take care of goats and I make soap. And then I sell the soap, which I hate the selling of the soap. I keep on trying to find ways to not have to sell the soap, and just like, where? You can purchase it. Oh, Jude, you're going to put it up? I think it's exclamation point soap. There we go. Exclamation point soap. That's my Etsy shop. So that's where you can buy it. I gotta, again, as I said, if if you are making soap and you start itching anywhere, even if there's no way that there's soap there, you wipe it off, just in case. And I got an itch on my arm, which can't possibly be soap, but I'm still doing it. My paper cut, I can message you. I can message you after we're done here. I have to send you the emote. It's in Discord. Jude posted in the Twitch channel on Discord. Yeah, it's there. And there's also a first version of an Aaliyah plunger emote, Aaliyah plunger animated emote that didn't come out quite as good. So we're not going to use that one on Twitch, but it's on Discord, I think. So yeah, this is my world. I'm over there taking care of goats. I'm over here making soap. Use code PantslessGadget to get nothing off. Accept your pants. There we go. I was going to say, shouldn't you get something off if you're going to use PantslessGadget? But I guess you can get your pants off, but still send all your money to me. There is actually a code. Did it show up on that? Hold on a minute. If anybody actually wants to buy soap, which you do not have to do. Think maybe not. There we go. 20% off. Use coupon code Twitch20 and you'll get 20% off. And that's kind of my thank you for being a Twitch person and putting up with me. Oh, felted soap. I was going to show you. Yeah, tell them Gadget sent you. I oftentimes, for people who are in Twitch a lot, in Twitch chat a lot that I see, and I'm familiar with you and stuff, I'll oftentimes throw something extra in for you. You know, if it's somebody that I don't recognize anything about them, then I won't necessarily. But if it's somebody that I know we've interacted a lot, I'll usually throw in something, even if it is just an ugly bar for free or something. I like to throw in extra stuff for people when I can. So these are felted soaps that I made. Move it here. There you go. These are felted soaps, so it's a bar soap in there, and then there's felt all around. And these, so basically it's soap inside of a washcloth. This is my little one. Soap inside of a washcloth, so when you use it, you get it all wet and you rub it around a little bit. Gadget, I can foresee what you're about to say when I say this, but go ahead, just go ahead, it's fine. And the lather comes right through the washcloth, and then you use the whole bar of soap as a washcloth, and it's quite nice, and it lasts forever because it uses up literally until the very last the tiniest sliver of soap is in here, and it'll still work. So those are felted soaps. I don't have them in the shop yet, and I need to. I need to get them listed because they're cute and people will like them. Kane does say that felted soaps are like soaps on a hard setting, because they do take a little bit more work, but they also work better. So, did I see Sophia tipped? I did not. Let me hold on. Gotta check my other phone. I did not see that. Sophia, thank you very much for your tip. How can I make it worthwhile for you? Thank you for being on Twitch. Traveled to the shed and made some soap. Your stream is true, even though there is some lie. Uh-oh, Gadget. I don't know what song that is. I already did, Sophia. Thank you. if you if you catch enough soap making streams, you might be able to figure out the recipe. So that'll help. Golden Girls. Okay, got it. It makes so much more sense with the tune in my head. I like it. That does work very well. Yeah, so Sherry, if you go up a little ways, Gadget posted some lyrics. Which, it amazes me. I was telling Kane this the other day. It amazes me that you can basically hear, you hear songs constantly. And I don't know how you do that. Okay, yeah, you saw. Okay. You just ordered some soap, Daryl? Thank you. I will definitely throw something extra in for you. That is very, very cool. Thank you so, so much. So much fun. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Daryl. You'll be smarter and have beautiful ankles. That is what my soap brings. Absolutely. That's awesome, Sherry. Thank you. That's gonna make me laugh for a while. Alrighty, well, I think we're done. Unless you have any questions or other things you want me to play, make fun of for music, go check what the bunnies play there. I can do that. Totally fixes your love life. That's another thing it does. IQ Ankle Love Life Soap. Oh, thank you, Sherry. That's very sweet. We make nice scars here. The soap puts pants on you. Hey, that is worth its weight in gold right there. Well, I'm glad that I was able to do this. This was fun. And it came out halfway decently. Hopefully it was enjoyable for you too. It's different. And therefore, I probably messed up everything. But at least we made soap. So if nothing else, I made soap. You liked it, Sherry? Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I do like the fact that I can just be like, worst case scenario, I end up with soap and no viewers. But it's possible that I'll actually have people. It was good today. Good. Thank you, Caperice. We'll do these kinds of things every now and then, depending on what I need to do and what the weather's like. I just did not want to be out there this morning. It was too cold. I think I've been out there when it's colder, but I just was not up for it today. The soap gives you good skin, so you go pantless. That could be a hazard of using my soap. So definitely watch out for pantless people. It forced Gadget to put pants on. Oh, Caperice, you're so sweet. I don't know why. I'm not that enjoyable of a person. Many people have told me over and over and over the years. Many people avoid me very, very much. So I do love, when I first started watching Renoa and she was talking about the fact that, some days she would be in a bad mood or be having a bad day, and she would get on stream and it would make her feel better. I didn't understand until I started to feel that way about hanging out with you. It's just one of those things. Like, it really is a thing that if I'm having a bad day and I come on here, then at least, if nothing else, I feel like, people have made me laugh about stupid things. It's just lovely. And yeah, we've done something creative today. We can potentially, so I do sometimes make custom batches for people. I'm not, and I also do like, and if I make a custom batch for somebody, then they have to buy the whole batch, because what else am I going to do with it? But one thing that we could potentially do as a channel is in Discord we could decide what kind of limited edition batch we wanted to make. And we could, because I do that sometimes, I'll just do a one-off batch just to try something out and see if it sells, see if people like it, see if it comes out the way I want it to. Sometimes it does not, so it's always, whenever you do something different, it's always an experiment, and it always could come out bad. So be prepared that whatever we choose, it might not be good. But we try, and, you know, if we want to do a limited edition batch, we can totally do that, and see, you know, basically make the soap that you people want me to make, and, you know, we'll mess around and have fun. This soap smells like Gadget's discarded pants. I don't know that people would buy that. I mean, I like you and all, Gadget, but I don't think people will buy that soap. We could potentially try to make soap that will knock your socks off. We could potentially try to make soap that would make your romantic partner want to take their pants off. But, you know, we'll see. Yeah, Gadget will have to buy that whole batch. Yeah, so we can talk and come up with stuff, and we can make, we can totally make a limited edition batch just to try something new. Pepsi made a peep flavored soda. That sounds like it should be illegal. I don't know if that's allowed. We could make Pepsi soap. I've made soap, so you can use a lot of different weird ingredients in soap. I've made soap with soda. I've made soap with beer. I've made soap with bacon fat. And, I have not yet made soap with an egg in it, but you can. Not an egg, but eggs. You can make soap with eggs in it. There's a lot of different things that you can put in soap to make it interesting. It makes it harder, because you have to have different techniques for doing these things, but we can potentially do stuff like that. Yeah, Pepsi soap can happen. I think I did root beer soap way back when I was first starting out and doing all kinds of weird things. Hello, Rock Forever. Nice to see you. We just did a soap making stream. So putting objects in, we would have to experiment with that most of the time. So I'll show you. I have some of it, actually. So a lot of people, when they stop making soap, they'll like contact me and be like, hey, do you want all my stuff that I don't want anymore? And I'll be like, yeah. And I'll go through it and I'll take what I want, and then I'll hand it off to other people. So this is one of the things that somebody gave me. This is blocks of soap that they purchased like this. And this is called melt and pour soap. So what you do with this is you actually like melt down a whole bar of this. And then you add color and color and scent and any additives to it, but it's already soap just like it is. You're just making it customized to how you want your soap to be. I know that technically that's considered soap making by a lot of people. My snobbish bitchy self says that's not soap making because it's already soap. You're just making different soap. But that's me being a bitch. Oh, Daryl, thank you. And thank you, Gadget, for saying something. Thank you very much for the gifted sub. Very cool. Yeah, it's soap changing. It's not making soap, but they'll still say that this is handmade soap because they made it, quote unquote. And I'm bitchy and I'm pedantic about it. And I'm like, you didn't make soap. I make soap. You know, me being a pain in the ass. So when you tend to see soap with items inside of it, it's almost always melt and pour soap, because the melt and pour soap doesn't have to get very hot and there's no chemical process that happens. It's already soap. So it's just melting it, putting the thing in the middle, like it's usually like a little toy or an eraser or something like that. And so then the soap is just having to harden So we can try to put things inside, but they have to be things that will withstand lye. It comes in contact with raw lye. And the soap also gets very hot during the process. In fact, I can even show you, kinda. You see how much color's changed already? That's because it's so hot. I can touch it and it's not uncomfortably hot, but I can feel, like putting my hand here, I can feel heat radiating from the soap. So it gets up, I believe it gets up somewhere into the upper 100-degree range. So yeah, you have to be careful. If you put plastic in it, you got to make sure that it's plastic that has a high melting point. Silicone is possible. I just have to find one that works. We can try silicone. If you can help me find little silicone things, we can stick some in soaps and see if it works. Because that would probably not melt and it probably wouldn't get too affected. I can't like put something in plastic. Like I thought about putting like something in a plastic bag inside the soap, but the plastic bag could potentially melt. So I have to be really careful. So yeah, I'll see if I can find something little silicone and cute and whatever, and we'll see what we can do. A silicone thing. Yeah, we can mess around with that idea. I'm willing to try. I mean, worst case scenario, we try to use the soap and the thing that we put in there is just wrecked. Chocolate soap. I have made chocolate soap before. I made it a couple of different ways. One way that I made it, it was unscented, but I put in cocoa powder and cocoa butter. And I had milk in it, of course, because it's goat milk soap, so I called it chocolate milkshake. But there's also, do I still have it? Yep. There's also chocolate fondue fragrance oil. So I can make a soap that smells like chocolate as well. But it doesn't quite smell like chocolate. So I didn't like it. It didn't sell well, and I didn't like it very much because it was a little bit off. But yeah, I've got, for the fragrance oils, I've got like the cherry almond. Some of these are ones that I already make. Love Spell is really sweet. Jade is kind of a cool one. I made that one for a special order for wedding favors. Margarita wine. I got all kinds of stuff here already, including, these are all like little samples and stuff of all different fragrances. So yeah, there's a bunch of different things. You would be amazed, Sherry, to hear how many people tried to eat my soap. So many people have literally stuck my soap in their mouth and tried to eat it. It's ridiculous. I can't even tell you. And so many people at like fairs and stuff, they would pick up the soap. They would, typically if you want to smell something like soap, you would pick it up and you would hold it kind of in front of your nose and sniff it and then put it down. I can't even tell you how many people literally either stuffed their nose on my bar of soap or even like took a corner of the soap and stuck it up their nostril to get a good smell of it. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll be throwing that bar of soap away as soon as you walk away from my table. 'Cause why would you do that? You'd be amazed. So I literally had to like throw away soap because people stuck it up their nose. It was just ridiculous. So people are weird. People are just very, very weird. And then I had, there was one sandwich shop in a downtown area where there weren't a lot of stores, that it sold sandwiches and foods and stuff like that. And then they also sold like some stuff that wasn't sold in other stores in the downtown area because there were only like 3 stores. And one of the things was my soap, and they would every now and then move something to right next to the cash register to try to, get people more aware of it. And one guy apparently ordered a sandwich and then asked for them to put some slices of my soap on it because he thought it was cheese. And it's like, look at the box. The box says soap. It does not say cheese. But he thought it was goat cheese instead of goat milk soap. bath salts up their nose, that's just dumb. Yeah, that would be really painful. Oh my gosh, Sherry. That would be very, very frustrating. Hello. Are you gruff? So we just finished making a batch of soap. We did chores out in the goat barn earlier, and then we just finished making a batch of soap. And we're kind of wrapping up, but we're very glad that you found us. Hopefully tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be back out in the barn with the goats, and we'll have a lot of fun out there, hopefully. Oh, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that very, very much. Yes. Oh, Sherry, you fished it out the second. I would have done the same thing. Just been like, well, we're not going back to the doctor for that again, so we're just going to pop this right out all by ourselves. Ugh, frustrating. Dumb child. You need to give him more soap so he'll get smarter. Make him use my soap. But yeah, so we just made a batch of soap right here. This is all fresh soap. And it'll be solid by morning. But yeah, so this was very, very fun. I hope you had fun too. Takes after his father. That's how to do it right there. Awesome. Well, then I will wrap this up. I will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. I'm going to go and work the dogs. Knows me once. Exactly. But the second time, Mom's going to just pull it out. Yeah. Oh, Raid. Thank you, Caprice. Thank you. Yeah, tomorrow we'll have fun. I'm going to go and work the dogs, and then I'm going to kind of have a quiet afternoon because it is Dungeons and Dragons night tonight, so I need to rest a bit. Oops, no, not that. I need to do... Oh my goodness. Hold on a minute. I'm on my other phone. We got bunnies, we got ducks, or wolves. Let's go for bunnies. Yep, I'm with you, Jude. Bunnies it is. Alright, pull up stream, pull up chat. No, pull up chat. Raid. Bunny TV, it auto-populates even. There we go. Raid has been created. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this with me, guys. I hope everybody had fun. And cast a caffeine spell. Yeah, I'm going to need that, definitely. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Get some sleep if you need sleep. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate your support. You're incredible. And you made me feel like I didn't totally mess up today's stream since it was a first. I appreciate that. See you tomorrow. We'll hopefully have plenty of Jeremy time tomorrow. And Dragon and Norman and Anya. You know, like usual. We'll give Jeremy a special treat if we can sneak him one. You're very welcome, Gadget. I hope it was interesting even for people who will never plan to make soap ever in their entire lives. I still like to try to make it interesting. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks, Dariel. You're wonderful. But you do use it, so now you know how it's made. You just don't know the recipe, because that's a secret. We don't tell people the recipe. All right, the read's going to take you any second. Bye, everybody. Have fun on the raid. Hopefully it won't leave me behind. No guarantees.